Welcome to the program, everybody. Happy Monday. Glad that you're with us. Well, it happened again. Another leftist tried to kill President Trump, and this time he wanted to take out as many Trump administration officials as possible, minus Kash Patel for some reason. We'll get into that. But it's really not surprising if you have heard the reports that the intel oligarchy and the communists or Democrats that haven't been fired within the DOJ are planning on weaponizing the government against administration officials as soon as they get their power back. One thing is clear, assuming the official narrative is the truth, which as far as I can tell, I think that it is. It's that the left, in this case, specifically Cole Thomas Allen, believed he had the moral high ground. He believed he was right, and President Trump was wrong, and needed to die because of it. Cole Allen apparently believed President Trump is so evil that the righteous thing to do was to assassinate him. Now, I've been warning about this for a long time. You guys know this if you've been watching the program. In America, both sides on the political spectrum or social spectrum or whatever, both sides believe they occupy the moral high ground. And both sides believe their opposition is evil. Now, some on the right may be uncomfortable with that. Some on the right, that's the problem, by the way. Some on the right may frame it as, a little different. They may say, well, no, the left is crazy or the left is unhinged. But what they're really saying, what they're actually saying, and this is what they're, I would say for sure, thinking, is that we can't exist as a cooperative society with these people anymore. Somebody has to win. And until that happens, we will continue to see events unfold very similar to what happened on Saturday at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, which was really a one-course meal with a salad that I hear was fantastic. What happened on Saturday could have been avoided, but it requires Republicans to use the power that they have to punish the left with the authority the people have given them. So far, they have largely refused and whined about how the filibuster is a shining example of the integrity of our storied institutions, or whatever. They'll make something up that sounds like that. As we're going to see here in just a moment, history suggests the longer we wait to address the elephant in the room, which is that the other side's radicalism must be winnowed, which means the modern iteration of the Democrat Party must be made illegal. The longer we wait to do that, and by the way, the SPLC is a good start, but the longer we wait to do that means civil war. And if that happens, God forbid, the polite manners of John Thune as he tries to be nice and protect his own reputation in polite society, that will be the last thing on any of our minds, my family's mind, on your family's mind. It's going to be the last thing that we care about. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. We've got 2 hours here to go over all of this and more. The Paul Harrell program starts right now.
The Paul Harrell program.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being with us. Sorry. I hope everybody had a wonderful Lord's Day yesterday. We are broadcasting live from the great state of Arkansas, and we're broadcasting on LFA TV over on Rumble. Make sure you like that channel if you haven't already, or subscribe. And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, do the same. Do all the things, or X, or wherever you're watching. We have my co-host, Rob Spencer. I was just told to just text. He's pulling into the parking lot. But in seat number 3 today, we also have Eric Haynes. Eric, my friend, how are you doing? Did you have a good weekend, sir?
So great to be part of the conversation. Yeah, the weekend was fun.
Yeah, it was. Good. I got to update
your family wedding this weekend.
So. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Well, my cousin's now husband, he's a car dealer, so the wedding was on Sunday. Saturdays are big days for him, so it was a Sunday afternoon wedding, and it was beautiful. The weather was perfect. It was a lot better day for it yesterday than it would have been on Saturday. So
yeah, anyway. Well, I'm just noticing here, it's like the second day in a row. What'd you pay for gas recently? Can you remember?
Was on my way back from Little Rock today, and I'm pretty sure I saw $3.49.
Okay, so 49 cents instead of 48 cents.
1 cent up from Conway last week.
And we're going to say that was in Little Rock?
Yeah.
All right,
that's just the one that I saw.
I
think there were some other cheaper places.
There you go. Now it's updated for the day, and
Thank goodness.
We can always just change it back to happy to be part of the conversation. That would be no. And I just
That's
heard
my favorite.
The walls just shook, which is
the man, the myth, the legend is on his way
the walls,
into
no,
the studio.
The walls just shook, but it's because of the building. When the doors not because of Rob specifically, but
fee, fi, fo, fum.
I came.
All right, well, so Rob gets situated, but
he said, "Hey."
Wait a minute, you calling me fat?
No, I'm not.
No, you are. You calling me fat?
No.
What a jerk.
I mean,
You're very fit,
oh yeah,
just like Paul here.
yeah, right, yeah. Me and my treadmill woes, my 10% incline, having trouble with that. Rob, you have a good weekend, sir?
Man, I had I don't know. It was weird. It was weird because I was dealing with, a lot of stuff with my teenage son. If you've raised teenagers, our listening audience, if you've raised teenagers, you know that you're raising people who hate you. They don't really hate you, but that's how they present themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I don't everything you do for me, I don't like it. It's not enough or whatever. And then of course, as we saw the news hit that Trump was a target of an assassination again. Yeah. And I thought, ooh, Monday's show's going to be great.
I have 11-year-old twins, so this is the calm before the storm in our house. I'll have to be getting advice from my friend Rob here pretty soon, I'm sure.
It's not good. There's no nice light at the end of the tunnel, at least that I can see.
Well, at this family wedding yesterday, I was sitting around talking with my lovely parents and, talking about how great the 80s and 90s were. And I don't remember what brought up the conversation, but I just felt like my mother looked at me with a sympathy that I don't think her parents looked at her with when they were that age. Because my mom, you could just tell, she knows enough to know that what we're dealing with now as parents raising kids is just so different than what they had to deal with in the 80s and 90s when they were raising me in my, youth, and the things that they were having to say no to that seemed so small in comparison to things that I'm dealing with and saying no to. It's just wild to see the difference in that generation.
Well, I mean, I didn't wear seatbelts until I was a teen.
Right?
Like it was.
I was
just
in the
a
back of
different
my
time.
dad's pickup truck going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
I rode in the back of a yellow Datsun truck growing up
in the bed
on a wicker stool. No, it was a so my older sister got to sit in the passenger front seat, Dad driving, and I was behind the cab with my legs facing facing the left, not even the front, on like a wicker stool, and everything was fine. I turned out okay.
Yeah. Like there was no. I don't even think that we got in vehicles for the longest time. There wasn't. They didn't even make seat belts in there, and then when they added them, they just like, well, we'll just give one to the driver, know. And
this is how our conversation went yesterday. We were laughing as a family at the fact that on Mom and Dad's different key rings, each car had two keys. One key to open the doors, and then there was another key to actually start the ignition. That's how this conversation went this weekend at this family wedding. Just the differences in the generation, and
it's just
we're
a different
clicking
time.
our key fobs from inside the wedding to cool down our cars. And my dad's like, "Good."
But I actually think this is a really good segue into exactly what I just talked about in the monologue. There is a war against our children in many.
It's
in
been
many
going
ways.
on for a while.
Right.
Oh,
and there's always going to be that. I'm not suggesting that you can have, that we can have some utopia where that's not going to be the case. But it certainly wasn't as bad as it is now, and people have taken notice. And the divide is still obviously present, and both sides think they have the moral high ground. People that are wanting to engage on our side, that want to engage and they want to take back the schools or they want to take back the institutions in general, the other side doesn't want to do that, and they're listening to, they think they have the moral high ground, and that's one of the reasons why this guy, ran past security, and we're going to talk about the lack of security and everything else, but it's we right now, I guess my point is this, and I want to show you a historical example here in a minute about where we may be based on what I saw online. But
you are here. That's where you're going to go with
yes.
it.
Where we're at. There's historical examples of kind of where we're at right now.
Okay.
And I want to talk about that here in a minute. But the Republicans have the power to actually do something about this, and going after the SPLC was a good start.
Yeah.
But the left wing, and this has been true really since, the last half of the 20th century, it is the left wing that seems to have a license to be violent, and they're never punished for it. They're never, maybe in individual circumstances, but just in general.
Right.
And then we find out that the right wing violence, is manufactured.
Well, it's a bigger stat. Yeah, they say that right wing violence far outnumbers left wing violence, and I'm like, what?
Exactly.
What world are we living in where you think that right wing violence is anywhere on the same planet? When is the last time someone was lynched in the United States?
Yeah, and then the insurrection that they claim happened on January 6th, aside from the entrapment and federal involvement, it's an insurrection where nobody showed up with guns.
And an insurrection where no one has been charged with insurrection.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's amazing.
Isn't yeah, that is
Of
amazing.
all, like, you've got a Democrat-controlled Justice Department, and not a single solitary person was charged with insurrection in this big insurrection.
Yeah.
You know what? Have a day.
Yeah.
Have a day. If you're so stupid, that you think that an insurrection happened on January 6, 2021, I've got a bridge to sell you. I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you. George Strait wrote a song or sang a song about it. Listen, folks, if you're so stupid that you believe that unarmed people were trying to take over the government, I don't think that there's any help for you. I don't know that you can be unless you're a child.
Yep.
Unless you're a child, and
right.
That's the title of Rob's segment. We got to work on is if you're so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
You're so
it's like you might be a redneck. It really is a Jeff Foxworthy.
I can't help you.
Dude.
I don't know that I can help you, man.
Right when he gets fired up, we start the music into the if you're so stupid.
We were
Actually, that could work. I think that could work.
We were driving.
We'd have to bait him into it too. We'd have to poke the
Like,
bear a little bit.
Like, how stupid is it?
And then Paul would, that's what we got to poke the bear a little bit, and then you reach over and you hit the button, and the music starts.
Watch him go.
And by then, Rob's like, "If you're so stupid."
Yeah, we're gonna do a daily psyop on Rob. I'm gonna start crafting the segments.
Y'all are gonna do that. Oh my god, y'all are gonna do that. So we were having a discussion. We were having a discussion leaving church yesterday and driving because my 15-year-old son, who has the worst grades in the vehicle of any person currently receiving grades, and he believes
he doesn't watch this show, does he?
Yeah. He does not watch this show, no, because his grades restrict him from having technology.
Yeah, he's doing homework.
He's doing what is that? What voodoo did you just speak, Eric? He does not do homework.
What's the deal with homework?
You're
not working on your home.
If you're so stupid that you've got these grades, listen, this dude.
The Seinfeld episode. Boo. Hey kids, what's the deal with homework?
What's the deal? What's the deal?
You're not working on your home.
What is the deal?
So he was talking about his intelligence, and he's like, I'm the smartest person, and I'm like, listen,
Oh.
We're going to talk about fruit of the tree.
He actually
here.
said that. He actually said,
yeah.
but I'm the smartest person.
He was saying he was the smartest child, right? And our middle child sitting with A's, and she might have a B for a semester in some, like she does really well. And then our 7-year-old, I mean, but I've seen her report card. She's great. She's doing fine. But this dude's sitting here with 4 F's, and he's on an improvement plan, in school, and he feels like he is the most intelligent person in this vehicle. Mind you, I have a degree on the wall in our office. My wife has 2 degrees on the wall office, and we're like, okay, well, now a degree does not make you smart, as we've seen with the left here. But we had the ace in the hole. The reason we had the ace in the hole is because, I've shared on this show that all 3 of our children are adopted from the state. My son has had an intelligence test here. He had an IQ test.
Oh, no.
And I said,
you've got receipts, man.
Yeah.
You've got
Listen,
receipts.
his mom, who's like a quiet assassin, she sat there and listened to this whole conversation about this dude stroking F's back there. He's got F's on his report card, missing assignments, all of this stuff, talking about how smart he is. He's so smart, folks. She goes, you had to take an IQ test. You fall right in the middle. You have average intelligence. And he couldn't, no, like he couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle it. God forbid he would have been below, because she would have had the ultimate ace card right there. Be like, boom, here's this ace of spades for you. But dude has sitting there with average intelligence talking about how smart he is, right? And he's got, I've seen his report cards, and I'm like, well, where's the fruit? The fruit of this tree is pretty poison right now at this point. That's a long point. This is a long road that I've gone down to get to this point. Democrats always feel like they are the smartest person in the room. They feel like they've got the most education, they've got the most degrees, they have the most high ground that they stand on with their superior intellect. Folks, Democrats can't handle one thing that all truly intelligent people can handle. A 5-letter word called facts. Because when you present Democrats, these leftist liberals who do not have a handle on reality, with facts, what do they fall back to? Not counter or contradictory facts.
Yeah, let me try to convince you. Let me debate this.
Correct. They're not there.
Feelings.
We're going to feelings. Exactly, Eric. We're going to feelings. Mm-hmm. And a Democrat who argues and proves their point based on feelings can never be reasoned with, number one.
And they're going to turn violent.
Okay.
I mean, that's,
and number two, as I've become increasingly convinced of, we are not going to be able to truly coexist.
There we go. That's exactly what I said in the monologue. This is
This
is what we figured out. And
spot on.
And that's and we're not talking about, live and let live at this point, because what they're doing is, well, if they're turning violent and at the same time, they've gone through this long march of the institutions that are still, very much captured in a lot of different forms. But I obviously harp on the intelligence aspect of all of this, the intel oligarchy or the community. But I want to give you, let me start with this conversation, because this conversation is kind of what led me down this rabbit hole, this historical rabbit hole. And it had to do with this. Jesse Kelly, he wrote this: communists are demonic and violent. Democrats are communists. No rhetoric will change or be toned down. That has never happened one time in the history of communism. And that's what we are facing, is communism in this. And Aaron McIntyre says, now is a good time to familiarize yourself with the prelude to the Spanish Civil War, because if the right doesn't learn that particular lesson of history very quickly, we're about to repeat it. And so I loosely know about the Spanish Civil War, but, I kind of just went down a rabbit hole and got Grok involved. But basically, tell me if this doesn't sound familiar to you. So Spain used to be a monarchy. They became unstable after the monarchy fell, and there was a left-leaning Second Republic that was proclaimed in 1931. But then the new Republican government passed laws seizing church property, banning religious education, dissolving Jesuit orders. It led to widespread church burnings, attacks on clergy, riots. Hundreds of churches and convents were destroyed or desecrated in the early years. And so many on the right, Catholics, monarchists, conservatives, saw this as an existential attack on Spanish tradition and the church. 1933, there were elections, and a center-right coalition, including the Catholic CETA party, won power. In response, socialists and anarchists launched a revolutionary uprising, Asturias, in 1934, the Asturian Revolution, or October Revolution. You had miners and leftists seize towns, attack churches and right-wing targets, and killed priests and civilians. The Republican government used the army with Francisco Franco, played a key role in suppressing it, okay? But thousands of people died, and what this showed is that, hey, the left would get violent if they lost the election. So then they had another election. Guess what happened? The left-wing coalition called the Popular Front, socialists, communists, anarchists, liberals, narrowly won amid extreme violence, intimidation, and what many conservatives claimed was fraud and ballot stuffing. The right, including the monarchists, argued the election was stolen or illegitimate.
Don't know.
Grief.
This sounds this sounds totally foreign to me.
The new government quickly, when the leftist government took back power, they released leftist prisoners. So think about this from a Joe Biden standpoint.
They wouldn't do that.
Instead of the leftist prisoners, think about the border invasion.
Good.
Right? Think about the Tren de Agua taking over entire apartment complexes.
Listen to yourself, Martha.
Yeah, listen to yourself, Martha.
That was the greatest comeback to
good.
her. Listen to yourself, Martha.
Purge. So they purged
I don't want them
conservative.
here.
They purged conservative military officers. Think about the vaccine mandate. Allowed or encouraged a new wave of strikes, land seizures, church burnings, assassinations, political killings skyrocketed. It climaxed in the assassination of Jose Calvo Stilao in 1936. He was a prominent conservative monarchist leader, and they killed him. His bloody body was dumped in a cemetery. Okay, this was seen as the final straw. So 4 days later, on July 17th to the 18th, 1936, right-wing generals, including Franco and others, launched a military coup in the Spanish Morocco and spreading to the mainland. They expected a quick victory, but guess what? It didn't. It failed, and they eventually won. But it was a 3-year civil war, and they eventually won.
Yeah,
and they got help from Germany, and they got help Nazi Germany there and fascist Italy in order to do it. During the war's early months in Republican zones, left-wing militias carried out widespread massacres.
Hold up. Let me make sure that I understand this. So the nationalists were aided by the Nazis, and the fascist Italy,
in order
to defeat the Republicans, essentially.
Yeah. But in this case, the terms, Republicans obviously are, different meanings to different cultures and that sort of thing.
Okay.
But I mean, Franco is obviously known in history as a fascist. That's what a lot of people would say.
Okay.
And I'm not necessarily picking sides, although if we wanted to have a conversation about what kind of dictator is better, you got to line the dictators up and figure out which one you'd rather live under.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is this is an example of them not. This is an example of the country turning violent, and you waited too late until it exploded, and more people lose their lives when the lawlessness continues. Because if you'll read what the summary is about these two posts, is that they waited. They waited until their personal lives were in peril. Basically, they waited so long until, and I'm trying to find when it the right must learn from Spain and act decisively earlier rather than hoping Rhetoric or elections alone will suffice. Replies explicitly mention Franco on moving in this whole X conversation. And I'm going to throw it to you guys, but I want to put one more thing out there, and that's what Florida has done. If I can find wherever the
redistrict. Yeah.
So this is a key point, because we all saw what Virginia did last week, and the courts are involved, and I think another court has overturned, and it's going to go all the way up to the Virginia Supreme Court. So here we have DeSantis dropping a brand new proposed redistricted map. Republicans will pick up another 4 seats. And you'll have 1, 2, 3. You'll only have 4 Democrats in the state, and this is now tit for tat. Somebody says an appropriate response to Virginia, but what this reveals is both sides have given up on persuasion. To your point, Rob, recognizing the country is so divided that it's basically impossible. So it's a race to rig the system in your favor, all while speaking in grand terms about democracy. But look what this account says. Urcaminos, yes. Because the only other option is kinetic war. They're still trying to use the system to win. And this is my point. Yes, redistrict all you want. I mean, and that's fine. If the Democrats are going to do it, let them do it. But this is coming to a head, and I don't know how it works out, but history suggests it's not good.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. And maybe, you've got these people like John Thune who are worried about how he's perceived or his reputation, or being nice, or clinging to these historical norms, when they've now tried to assassinate the president 3 times. He's faced, that we know of, 3 assassination attempts. Look, not to mention Charlie Kirk. We're just to the point where you have the power to make this current iteration of I'm not saying you make the Democrat Party illegal, but the radicals in the party that seem to have this license on the violence, and then you've got the media that refuses to call this correctly. They're in their slant. I don't understand why it can't go on like this and not end in some sort of really terrible outcome. That's my point. So, and I don't want that.
Okay, so what about this? So Carl Ben J here in the comments literally just posted that it just came out Virginia has won the redistricting. Like, has there been a court case? Because I believe that there was a stay that was put on for Virginia, that there was a stay put on that.
I could be wrong. I obviously know last week, the last I heard was a court had overruled, but that was just a circuit court. It was going to go to another court, or it was a district court or something. There may be, I don't know, but I think
maybe do a little bit of research there, because and do you know what the current number makeup in the state of Florida is? Right, because this would knock them down to what, 4?
Yeah,
to 4 seats. But what
we would pick up 4. We would pick up 4 seats.
We would pick up an additional 4, and then what was that in Virginia? They were picking up 4. Right?
Basically, yeah.
So then it's Texas versus California, and all of that. And we've said this on the show, folks. When they throw in Arkansas, we can speak personally about the state of Arkansas. And they say, well, this is a 65-35 state, and our 6 representatives are all Republicans. But when you look at our districts, you might say that there's some, what was it, District 4 or something, whatever it is, where there's a little bit of, like,
in Arkansas?
Yeah, like, what's up with that?
Arkansas is very easy to do. The only claim that they have, the only claim the left could have that Arkansas is gerrymandered is in District 2, which is Little Rock, which is, occupied right now by a Republican, Congressman French Hill. He gets White County. White County is a very conservative county, and that is in District 2.
Right.
And that's the only claim, but I don't know. If you go further south, you're gonna benefit from,
because we have Little Rock and North Little Rock that has a significant minority population that is going to vote Democrat, although we are a very, very strong conservative state. My whole point of it being is that when you look at the maps that are being drawn, they don't make sense in other states. They make sense for the most
part. You're exactly right. Yeah. They do.
for the most part, something's up with my audio here. Or maybe this thing died. I don't know. But anyway, so if it sounds good on y'all's end, then I'm
we're good to go.
But for the most part, they make sense. But they like to throw us in there, and they say, "Oh, you're a 65-35 state." But look at the state of Massachusetts, who is a 65-35 state. That is, but it's reverse of Arkansas. They have no Republican leadership. I don't even know that Republicans really make an honest effort to try to run in that state because it's so bad. And then Illinois, don't even get me on Illinois. And so on a certain level, I do agree that this is just a race to the bottom with this redistricting. But I also look at it and try to say, they're trying to kill us, literally. I don't know that we need to be continuing to play fair at this point. Do you just use all of the advantages that you have?
Every single one, and historical precedents. You violate historical precedents as well at this point. I mean,
so then it boils down to leadership. Do any of us, any of the three, including people in the comments, I'm going to throw this at you. Does anybody question whether Donald Trump is in charge of his executive branch? Now, you might say that there may be some people that are a little too influential here or whatever, but ultimately, do you believe that the decisions that are made from the executive branch are made by Donald Trump?
Yes.
Yes, I would say there are. I do think there are
You
people.
can disagree with the influences, but
I think
do
there
you
are
believe
people that keep information from him. I do think.
Oh,
that
I do believe that.
You know, so.
But if he's got the information,
yes,
that he
I'll concede that.
Right, because 4 years under Joe Biden, I don't think anybody believed that Joe Biden was making the decisions.
Right. Auto pin in every way.
Correct.
Auto pin, auto brain, auto everything.
Okay, now this one I'm not so sure about, but I'm going to throw this one at you. Do you think that Mike Johnson is in charge of for the most part of the decision making for the conservatives in the House?
Yes.
Donors.
Well, I agree with this. Like, we can go down that rabbit hole all we want to, but my whole point
just
of it is
concede again.
All right, concede again. I concede again.
My whole point of it, we can go in like
concede.
who's truly in charge of things, right? The deep state and the donors
Let him make
and
his
all this
point,
stuff.
Paul.
All right, make your
For
point.
the
I'm
love
sorry.
of God, Paul, like let's have at least some above board. Like, Paul is so black-pilled sometimes that I'm just like, dude,
I thought you were
how do
wanting
you
me to
sleep at night?
honestly answer the question.
Israel, Netanyahu, okay, all that stuff. Anyway, but my whole point of it is, I think that Mike Johnson has done a good job at governing with a razor-thin majority in the House, because it's not easy. Totally. You've got so many. We are a coalition party on the right. Does anybody think, my point that I'm building to, that John Thune is in charge of the Senate?
No.
If he is, it is with a contradictory tone and hammer to Donald Trump and the conservatives, true conservatives in the House. If John Thune stays in power, the Republicans will be out of power this November, without a shadow of a doubt. If there is not something, either John Thune has to change or John Thune has to be removed. If neither one of those things happen, Democrats will take over in 2026. You can't sugarcoat it and convince me otherwise. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am wrong, but I don't think I am.
All right. I want to continue this conversation, and I want to get your thoughts, Eric, but we have to go to break because I'm testing something. And so we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to be back here in just a moment. This is the Paul Harrell program, and we can't do the program without you, and we'll be back here in just a moment.
This is our family dog, Bubba. He is a Shorty Jack Russell, and he brings a lot of love and laughter into our home. We just want to thank Pet Club for making healthy food and treats for our animals. Bubba has been on Pet Club food for a little over a year now. He really likes the Sequoia dry food, and then I put a scoop of the Sequoia wet dog food in there with some hot water and stir it up, and he absolutely loves it. And he likes the mush puppies, but his ultimate favorite is the antlers. Those keep him busy for a really long time, and he really likes them. It makes us feel really good that the food and treats that we give him have healthy ingredients in them, because we want him to be around for a really long time. Our previous dog was a lab, and his name was Titus, and we fed him in bulk, and we would just get his food from the big box grocery stores. And unfortunately, that food wasn't very healthy for him, and he ended up getting cancer and passing away. So we didn't want to make that mistake with Bubba. So we were really fortunate to find Pet Club and find some really healthy food for him to eat. So we would just like to thank Pet Club, and we just really appreciate the healthy food that they make, so we can keep this guy around as long as we can.
The other things that we're seeing, more and more use for is even vascular issues. So one of the mechanisms that red light, near-infrared light, or red Vive works is stimulation of the mitochondria and stimulation of nitric oxide production. So when nitric oxide is released in cells, it vasodilates cells. It reduces inflammation. It moves blood. It brings blood flow to areas. So folks that have issues with ulcers or burns or wounds, it can help stimulate increased blood supply, and you need blood to heal. So that can open up different avenues for peripheral artery disease, for neuropathic pain syndromes. And so that's one of the other areas for nerve injury or nerve pain that we can leverage this type of medicine.
For centuries, light has been used to heal. Awaken the body with Red Vive.
The Paul Harrell Program.
All right, folks, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. Had to do a quick break there. We're testing out some audio tones with Hometown TV so that they can trigger some local advertisements in addition to our network advertisements. Anyway, so I wanted to continue this conversation, and I wanted to highlight what the head of the Center for Baptist Leadership, William Wolf, what he said, which is the real wake-up call is realizing that Cole Allen isn't some fringe figure. He's just an average Democrat in 2026 who believed the media when they told him Trump is literally Hitler. He's not a radical. He's your liberal neighbor with a coexist bumper sticker on a Prius.
Yeah.
A few other things. Democrats, we're going to kill you. GOP, that's against the rules. Democrats, we don't care. Murdering your kids. Maybe that's supposed to be, we can't stop you guys. GOP, we can't stop you guys. It says here in the Constitution that murdering our children is your right. Democrats, actually, we'll get your kids to kill you. GOP, as long as Israel gets Iran, is Aaron McIntyre's point. But yeah. This is. Then you get to somebody like John Thune. I want you to listen to John Thune. You were just talking about John Thune. This is John Thune.
Garbage.
Saying, people are wanting this talking filibuster to be enforced. They want the silent filibuster to go away.
The enormous difficulty of doing that. In fact, the biggest majority has not been able to.
Right. Well, I guess, and I would just remind people that the coin in the realm in the Senate is floor time. There's a finite amount of it, and we have a lot of things we have to do. There's a housing bill that's awaiting action, hopefully a market structure bill, possibly permitting reform, farm bill, highway bill. You can go right down the list. Russia sanctions, there are a whole bunch of things that could be teed up for action on the floor of the Senate. And so you have to make some judgments, and the conference will have a conversation about that. I've committed to that we will talk about that idea and determine whether or not what the conference's views are about it and how they want to proceed. As I said, we will vote on the SAVE Act, but exercising or triggering a talking filibuster has ramifications, implications that I think everybody needs to be aware of. So we will have those discussions, but that's obviously ties the floor up for an indefinite amount of time with not only unlimited debate, but also unlimited amendments.
All right, rather we had the Senate majority.
So, I mean, we've heard that before. I mean, this is his take on it. That could take a long time. Of course, go ahead.
As long as there is a quorum, you got to keep a quorum, right? Because the Democrats at any moment could call for a quorum vote, right, and a quorum count. But as long as there is a quorum, there is a finite amount of time. But it is on the Democrats' ability to speak and to prolong things, okay? And if we're sitting here worried that Chuck Schumer is going to make a 24-hour-long speech, then you are being naive about it. You're being completely naive. And you're also, that's if you legitimately believe it, you're being completely disingenuous and you're lying when you really know what's going to happen here is that you don't want to get rid of the talking filibuster or the standing filibuster for the talking filibuster because what you know is this. You know that Chuck Schumer wouldn't lie to you. Chuck Schumer has assured you that if he comes back into power and the Senate goes back to the Democrats, that he will not get rid of the silent filibuster. He won't get rid of it, folks. Promise you that.
Because he's such a man of integrity.
Yes. And our storied institutions.
Yes.
And the processes and the pomp and
all of that
stuff.
stuff.
And he's
all of that
and he's
stuff.
a grill master too. Remember?
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Did that offend you like just to no end when you saw that?
Putting
like,
cheese on
just
raw
like,
burgers.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, no, it did offend me because
as a pit master.
Yeah, number one, an aspiring pit master.
Yeah. Right. Oh, you're not aspiring. You are a pit master,
well,
sir.
Thank you. But it's
I've had your meat. As weird as that is to say.
Well, here's
I've
the
had
deal.
it. It was delicious.
I would think
amazing. Paul.
I would think pitmaster is just not something that you bestow on yourself. I feel like that's got to be bestowed on by somebody else who's had the meat.
I bequeath you the pitmaster of our little show here.
Well, thank you, my good sir. But yes, it did offend me because it was.
I hope the camera wasn't on me just a minute ago and I lost it.
But it did offend me though. I will say that it did offend me because it's not only just the whole barbecue thing and how what a blasphemy it was because he clearly doesn't know what he's doing.
It's outrageous.
But he's trying to pretend like he's normal.
Yeah, it's the pandering.
It's so funny.
You're not normal, Charles.
All of that's what they do. They try to pretend like they're just like you and me, and it's like it's this old YouTube video where there's this guy advertising Nelly beer, and it's a fake made up beer.
Okay.
And he keeps doing takes, and he's saying the most outrageous things. And but he keeps drinking, and so the takes get more and more sloppy to the point where at the end of it, he's like, "I lied earlier when I said I was like you. I took a helicopter here. Cut."
That reminds me of like I Love Lucy with the Vitamita Vegemin.
Yeah.
Vitamita Vegemin.
Yeah.
You're like, she's like trying it for the first take, and it's awful. It's just terrible, right? And then she just keeps going on. this is good.
Yes.
Right. And then she starts sobbing it up with, like, if she had a biscuit, she would have done it. But she was using her finger and she was licking this stuff because it had alcohol in it. She's getting drunk. Anyway.
If somebody can find, I don't even know if that exists anymore. It was a guy, this old, it was back in the golden age of YouTube.
Okay.
At one point, at one point, he says, he starts getting, getting more and more inebriated, and he says, if you don't drink our beer, Kobe Bryant will just keep on.
Oh my God!
Graping women is what he says. Of course, it's a
Lord have mercy.
It's a fake video, but
sure,
this was
I
back
get it.
in the golden age.
Yeah.
We're talking about the golden age of YouTube. There is a golden age of YouTube.
I would think it would be like it would be like Star Wars Kid or Chocolate Rain or you might even say
Chocolate Rain
or just the internet in general.
Sweet
you could
Brown.
say remember that Homestar Runner?
No, I don't.
You don't remember that? Anyway, the golden age
Brown.
of the internet.
You remember Sweet Brown?
Ain't nobody got time for that. Yes, yeah,
that's Sweet Brown.
That would be one too.
Yeah, that would have been early.
Honestly, you can really encapsulate it by the fact that, and this is how much things have changed in such a fast pace. Do you remember the show on Comedy Central, Tosh Point Oh?
Oh, Tosh Point
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
This was a show. It's kind of crazy if you think about it today. This was a show where somebody had to assemble the internet clips for us.
Yeah.
And present them to us in order of hilarity.
Because there was so much.
Right.
Yeah.
And now, the concept of that show is kind of silly if you think about it.
Here's what it is. This is Tosh Point Oh now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's
yeah.
just a scroll.
It's just a scroll.
You just scroll, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. But
Bob Saget used to have to fill a
Oh my
30-minute
gosh,
long
right.
show
That's right. Yeah.
for America's Funniest Home Videos.
but let me wrap a bow around what I was saying here and just go back to my intense hatred for John Thune. And Cornyn, I hope Cornyn just gets ousted. Ken Paxton would be a firecracker in the Senate, but unfortunately he might be a firecracker in the minority. And unless there is some sort of shakeup for Thune, he's like, oh, they can do this, and they can tie up the stuff. And I'm just like, Trump tweeted it one time or posted it or whatever, truthed it one time. I'm not signing anything before I sign the SAVE Act. And if he would stick to that, then John Thune, you can send as many of those bills to the president's desk that you want to send to him. Just send them to him, and he can sit there and just veto the hell out of them. That's what I would love for him to do and say, hey, veto for now, right? I will look at this once I've looked at the SAVE Act. And John Thune, if you can't, Trump said it. It goes to leadership, John.
It does. And what about I know, President Trump, I'm disappointed in the whole FISA 702 and him backing that because the military, the very system that was used against him, he's now going to okay it. Trump could be like, hey, I'm not doing FISA.
Yeah, I'm not doing any of it.
Unless you give me the SAVE Act.
They proved who they were this weekend on the golf course at Butler in Utah Valley State. They have proven over and over and over again that the normals within their party are not the ones in control.
You've got you've got the Republicans' response is, it's like the American people are begging for help. The Democrats, the Republicans say no, and the Democrats say no, but they have their pronouns at the end. Like that's their answer is no, but I'm he, him,
she,
or
her.
she, they.
Yeah.
Like we're getting the same thing from Congress. Congress is absolutely defunct. Now, you mentioned what happened over the weekend. So the memes have been quite hilarious. This was, I think, my personal favorite one because it kind of encapsulated what I did Saturday night, which was, you got this guy, those of you listening to the audio only version, some guy silhouette in the room, babe, some black twink school teacher tried to kill Trump. He ran right past security. I'll be in the den monitoring the situation.
Oh my gosh.
Which was good. But that brings me to this week's Graham Watch, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Senator,
Lindsey Graham.
Okay, you want to hear something crazy? Somebody
Loves no
mentioned
ones.
Graham Watch at church the other day.
No, they did
This
not.
segment is called Graham
Well,
Watch,
good.
There it is.
and
Good,
it's
there it
dedicated
is.
to
It's
him.
going viral, Paul. It's going viral, baby.
We see you, Lady G.
Here we go.
Look at it.
Okay, so for this Monday edition of Graham Watch, we actually can't do this without bringing up his opponent, Mark Lynch, his challenger.
Challenger, yeah.
Mark Lynch in South Carolina. So in the wake of what happened at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and they arrested Cole Thomas.
Yeah, Cole Thomas. I saw the picture of him. Oh, there it is.
This is now
There it is.
apparently
There's Cole.
apparently what.
Damn it, Lindsey.
The AI.
You could have waited for a private cell.
So Lindsey Graham
are
really
you
wanted to get involved on the law enforcement action there. Of course, this is an AI image, but
No, I don't know.
Mark Lynch with coming in from the ropes. This image is definitely fake. Lindsey would be on the bottom.
Mark. Oh my gosh.
So
Listen,
politics is a blood sport.
are we sure? Sure. I'm gonna get the non-Arkansas version
Yeah,
of it.
that was
sure. Well, are you sure? Are you sure? This picture of Cole and Lindsey is AI.
I mean,
I don't know.
there
Where
are-
was Lindsey?
I will
I
say
want to know.
there
Where
are-
was Lindsey?
There are
He was
conspiracy
at Disney
theories.
World.
There are conspiracy theories.
He has a female name, for the love of. Listen,
Lindsey
I want to
does, he
know.
does.
I want to know if that's.
He does. There aren't very many men. I don't know of any men named Lindsey. I know it's a last name, but I don't know of any men named Lindsey except for Lady G.
There are some men out there named Lindsey, and I'm sure that they're good, strong alphas. But
Well,
this one's not.
Well, Senator Graham is not doing them any favors
Yeah,
Beta.
I'm just telling
for
you.
the assumption.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's our Graham Watch for today. It's just this.
how he's just-
That's it.
I like how he's in
And-
a wife beater and.
And if you want, if you talk about Ken Paxton, and you
Yeah.
talk about John
Mark
Cornyn,
Lynch.
This other thing is this South Carolina is this
It
is one
is
of the most
huge.
conservative states in the country. It makes no
Yeah.
sense to have a guy like Lindsey Graham representing
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Listen.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Listen, Lindsey.
I'm representing.
I was
It's
watching.
like Will Ferrell on
Bomb-
the SNL Jeopardy. And the show has reached an all-time low.
Honestly,
I'll take charge for 200.
I am.
S words.
I'll take the rapist.
Yeah.
You're like, that's therapist.
I'll take
not
the rapist.
The rapist.
This is the sound a doggy makes. Moo.
Some things,
No.
some things don't react too well to bullets.
That's a
Listen,
good
Lindsey
Connor.
Graham.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you. Weirdly
All right.
enough, I used to do real quick. This is a weird story. You ready for this? So back when my little girl was much littler, and we read books every night. I still read books
We
every
got her.
night, but
She's little.
so you get in this rut. You're reading the same books over and over again, and so to entertain myself, I would do it in different accents, right? And so I would read. At one point, I was like, "What other accent can I do?" So I just started reading the book in Sean Connery. I don't even know
voice.
what book it was, but
Does she love it?
I don't think she knew what was going on. But so I started reading, She Spot Run. Anyway, this is the first time I'd done a Sean Connery accent in forever, and the next day I get up and Sean Connery had passed away.
Oh man,
What are the odds?
it's not
of that.
good. Not a lot of a lot
That's
of good odds.
crazy. That's
oh
crazy.
My gosh, not a lot of good odds. Let me ask you a question.
That was a tough one, to be honest.
It was. Is there anything you want to tell us about this image?
No, you want me to get it off the screen? Because
No,
we've got other.
I'm just saying. Like, is there anything you want to tell us?
No, there is not.
It's hurting
Okay.
my eyes.
Well, I'm just telling you.
We've got more memes. So the memes from this
Nancy.
were really good. I
Yeah.
mean, pretty good. That was
Epic.
a good one. But then we had the same one, but with Don Lemon, which
Wait.
yeah, got the same
I like
one
the smile.
with Don. Yeah, he's smiling.
I'm here, boys.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Listen,
Don
I think
Lemon.
it's
Oh, there it is. Look at Trump taking the picture. Hey guys,
Okay.
smile.
the thing about Don Lemon there is that the fact that I know he's gay makes me feel a little grossed out by that, because I know that that could have happened, right? The whole thing about
after he interrupts a church
Lindsey Graham,
service.
Lindsey
Yeah.
Graham could be gay, but we don't have confirmation yet.
No. I mean,
Lindsey Graham's gay.
it's the dude. This was my
Sorry, that's
favorite.
just my opinion.
This was my favorite, but this next one was my favorite only because I'm a huge Lord of the Rings dork, and it's Trump looking at Melania as the shots go off. How I look over at my wife when Aragorn kicks the helmet. So this is a lot. This is a thing in Loader when Aragorn kicks the helmet in the movie. He literally broke his toe when he filmed it, and so it's like this. It's this lore. Where everybody's like, "Hey, did you know?" And so this is a funny. If you're a big Tolkien fan like me, then
Frodo.
When they come upon the big pile
of
of
Uruk-hai, and
I remember that.
they don't find the hobbits.
Yeah.
They think the hobbits
Sure.
are dead. So he kicks the helmet, but actually
In real life,
the actor Viggo Mortensen actually broke his toe when he did that.
yeah.
Let's talk about security for a second. Let me back up here and talk
Yeah,
about
I'm tired of hearing about how great the Secret Service is.
This is insane.
Not so good.
It's like I expected some sort of response like, well, the reason the shooter got as far as he did is because the entire Hilton was sloped. The hotel was sloped, and so we just couldn't secure it. But here's this.
Oh, I got
Two
it.
random chicks holding the front door open. Where's the guys? We're not even trying anymore. It's not even like, I just mean like they're not even like Secret Service people. It's like the girls who work here are holding the door. Even if it was the guys, it wouldn't even make it better. It's like she's fucking just like they might as well put a doorstop in. Like, what the
So this is an
That guy's
overheard.
hilarious, by the way.
It's an overheard conversation, and that's not the only one.
Yeah.
People were flabbergasted that the security was so. Before anything even happened, they were saying this doesn't feel like a very secure event.
Call my gabbers flasted on that one, because honestly, what they're saying there in jest and laughing and all this stuff or whatever, like that's what their honest observations.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're on full screen while
Quit
I'm
putting Lady G on the screen.
Well,
there
I've got
because-
so many tabs open, I
know.
can't keep track of where I'm at.
But the bottom line is, and you guys maybe, I don't know if y'all agree with me here, but when I saw this, I just said, somebody got on the other side of the wall, right? Like, so they're in the next room with a gun, fired off some shots.
But he assembled a gun, and we don't even know if he fired a shot.
I don't give a damn how he got to have a gun.
Right.
He got within 50 feet of the president with a gun with the intent to kill him.
At the Hinckley building.
Right.
No less. Like,
at a
Really?
certain point.
I
that's
didn't
where
know
this
that.
is. I mean, it was on the other side of the building, but like on the other side of the building was where Ronald Reagan was shot in 1984. That's why it's called the Hinckley building.
Wow. I didn't even put that
This
together.
is the same building. It was just literally on the adjacent side of it, but it to me, to your point, it was just like wild. The miss is here, and Kash Patel. Bless
he's coming out. He's towing the
bless
company
his
line.
heart. He's trying to talk about how great.
Oh, that was just so great.
The investigation has been since, and I'm just like,
Let me just tell you this.
I'm just like, dude.
Yeah. Let me tell you this. Let me ask you this. Do you have a report or a documented event where someone made it within 50 feet of Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, any of those three Democratic presidents? Do you have a documented event where someone made it within one room of them.
Oh, no.
Or within one hole on the golf course.
There was one guy, I will say, I think there was one guy that leaped the White House fence and made it into the White House, the bottom floor of the White House. Unless that was Trump. I think that was with Obama.
I don't know.
But I could be wrong on that. But
I don't know, but I can tell you
I'm not
this.
trying to
Like, from my perspective.
No, that was Trump.
That was Trump.
I feel like that was Trump, too.
No president has ever been targeted for assassination.
My whole point.
Like that.
Okay.
This many times.
Yeah.
It's
and
never.
And how many freaking close calls have we had with Trump?
Yeah.
How many close calls? And so the left would argue, "Oh, well, y'all just didn't want to kill Biden because he was such a good president." Are you or we're just not crazy.
Yeah, we're
not going to
just
kill
not
or
crazy
we're not going to
leftists.
kill people that like I would only kill people who I perceived to be an immediate threat to my family. Those are the only people that I would kill.
Well, so that brings up an interesting point. That's what this guy, if you go read his manifesto, which we'll get to here in just a second, that's apparently what he was willing to do. His manifesto to me does seem kind of crazy. I mean, he's crazy because he's been brainwashed into getting to this point, but it just seems a little bit more logical than he's operating off of, lies and false presuppositions. Here's the Daily Beast. This just to prove this. The Daily Beast.
That's Bill Maloogian. He's with Fox.
Okay. A Daily Beast editor had the hotel room next door. Quote, "How on earth could someone with a disassembled long gun check into a room at a hotel where the president was going to speak? I can answer that nobody even looked at my luggage on Friday afternoon.
Yep.
Worse, my colleague arrived on Saturday at 5 p.m. Nobody looked at his luggage either. No magnanimity, which is a metal detector. No metal detectors. No hand checks. No IDs. Nothing."
Quit telling me how good the Secret Service is.
Yeah.
That is bull crap.
Yeah.
That is bull crap.
Yeah.
Quit telling me how great that Secret Service is. Yeah. And maybe Donald Trump is like, it's more of like maybe when your kids are not doing well, they're not doing well, but you find like some positives and you're just like, hey guys, just keep going and all of that stuff, like to give some encouragement. Maybe that's what it is. But it is absolute bullshit, in my opinion, that someone brought a gun into the same hotel where the leader of the free world was about to be. A well-documented leading up to, someone could have easily planned it, which he did. He had this planned out. He took a train. He did all
train
this
to
stuff.
Chicago, then a train to D.C.
Very premeditated.
Right. And he's a teacher. He's leading our the next generation. Hey, sounds great to me. That's the people that we want in charge. And that fat ass from Chicago that did the bang, bang after Charlie Kirk died, she has still not been fired from her job. That's the people that we're dealing with. But when your own Secret Service is allowing these monumental flubs in security, you can only do one thing, and that's question whether they're in on it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And they're wanting the leader of the free world to be murdered.
And at the same time, I mean, this goes back to my previous point about you've got the power, you need to use it. Ultimately, this is President Trump's call. It's his life. I mean, it's literally
Mark Wayne Mullins' problem now,
it's
too.
But it's literally his life.
Yeah.
So somebody on X was saying, Trump should just get a battalion, get some Army Rangers.
He can afford it.
And make them his Secret Service from
now
what?
On. You know what? Get me some cartel members. As sad as it is, like you want to talk about those dudes are
would be crazy.
Right?
That would be
nuts. Get me some Southside Chicago drug dealers, right? Put them in my detail. That because I'm gonna tell you something. Like I don't like the way you look. I don't like the way you look. You know what? Oh, you don't have any reason to deny me. I don't like the way you look. You're out of here, right? Get those people and just I
know,
will
man.
never understand how Thomas Crooks made it to the best shooting position possible in Butler.
Well, we're not supposed to ask any questions about that anymore.
Absolute best position.
Kash Patel says there's nothing to see with the Butler investigation.
Former FBI guy said on Fox, I'll remember it vividly, he said, there's no way in the world, if I was a shooter, I would have used the building that Thomas Crook used. Why? Because it was the most obvious place. What are we doing here? If we don't believe that the Secret Service wants to allow Donald Trump to be murdered here, then what we also have to admit, if that's what our true belief is that they are completely inept and every damn one of them needs to be fired.
Well, so then you have the aspect of, Todd Blanche is now saying he thinks the shooter did get one shot off. And that's very convenient to say that because, we do have one.
You know he had to because the Secret Service agent took one in the
vest. There's a phrase called friendly fire. And I'm wondering, to your incompetence accusation, was it friendly fire that actually, wounded? I mean, he had a bulletproof vest on, but I don't have a lot of confidence. I'm like you guys. Allie Beth Stuckey writes, what this manifesto shows is that this was not a mentally unstable person in a psychotic fit. He is a thoughtfully, intentionally evil person deliberately carrying out the left-wing media figures had convinced him would be necessary and heroic. Again, Urkaminos writing, I think it's worse than just evil. His manifesto didn't seem evil to me. It seemed a rational, reasoned action plan against what he believed was an imminent threat. It felt like a normal guy that believed all the lies. Like how the Germans or Bonhoeffer felt like before they executed the plot to kill Hitler. This was an everyday leftist American who has been saturating in lies for years, finally took action, fully cognizant of all the consequences. It reads like a martyr's last testament. That means there could be many more out there. Let's pray this doesn't spur more to take action.
It reads like the show notes of Morning Joe to me.
Wow.
I mean, does this guy say anything in his manifesto that has not been spoken on every left-wing liberal rag television show / publication, whatever you want to call it? When you're talking about all of these left-wing people speaking the exact terminology in some cases that comes from that left-wing manifesto of this crazy man, how can you not say that he wasn't indoctrinated? The dude was indoctrinated with hate. He was. The very same way that the leader, the grand master of the KKK brought his son up to be the future leader. That's what. The same mentality, the same ideology that was passed from our liberal media, from mainstream media, has been passed to individuals, and he's the only one. He's not the only one. He's the one that got the closest because he I guess was smart enough to realize that our Secret Service doesn't give a damn whether our President Trump is murdered. Because he was able to get that close. And so we're sitting here trying to say that this is just some craziness. That's what the left is trying to tell us today. You know what? I've heard everything that dude said in his manifesto. I've heard it tenfold on the left-wing media.
The fact that we have a count for a number of times in which our president has faced attempted assassinations greater than one. I mean, it's a national emergency, and I think drastic measures have to be taken.
Thank you.
I don't want to see him retreat to a closet and become a closet president like Joe Biden did in his basement.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that because one of the things we love about President Trump is that he's always accessible. He's always in front of microphones, always out in the open, always in gardens, always in open spaces, talking with the press and giving them answers to their stump-sized, stupid questions. But he's always available and always out there and always working and always doing things. But my goodness, I mean, this has to be addressed because I just don't have faith in as much as Kash Patel wants to praise these law enforcement teams, they do not do a very good job.
No.
And that we have to Monday morning quarterback this like we're doing and see these obvious. I mean, Bill Malugian's post there was just shocking. It's like, oh my goodness, I have to show more credentials walking into a small community practice hospital than some of these guys had to in a correspondence dinner, which just so happened to be the only one that President Trump attended, again, to get out there in front and to be out there with these people. And here he is. This is wild, too. Just as a little side note. The fact that he's like, hey, let's reschedule this thing. Let's do it again. Like, man, he is he's just thinking, he's just on a different...
You said extreme measures, though. Do you have any in mind? Let me throw this up here, and I'll get your response. Jack Posobiec, enough is enough. They aren't going to just leave us alone. It's time for our federal government to act. Aaron McIntyre, the left will stop shooting conservatives when they pay a real price. Now, I don't think it's also a coincidence, again, assuming the official narrative is true, which I don't have any reason to doubt at this time, although we're going to get into why some people are freaking out here in a minute.
Okay.
The left will stop shooting conservatives when they pay a real price. The SPLC, right? So this happens right after the SPLC. The Southern Poverty Law Center is indicted, and which is exposed. And of course, the left doesn't believe it. They're saying, no, those were just informants, right? That's instead of saying, no, you guys were creating the victims. You were false flagging the entire nation. This is not rocket science. This is how statecraft works.
To have informants infiltrate this terrorist organization known as the KK. Who the hell are you?
So
there is no real price for crazy leftists like this, whose ideology and whose radicalization is what it is, to where they're willing to do what they're willing to do.
I feel like
I don't know what the real price means in that. What do you think it means?
I think it means more going after the institutionalized criminals running the left, whether it's the Intel oligarch, whether it's the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is clearly, in my opinion, a tool of the intelligence. I think the ADL's the same way. I think they have ingrained themselves, and then the Southern Poverty Law Center was held up as this bastion of neutrality.
What are you going to do, though? Are you going to round up all the radical rainbow teachers in California and put them in a community or something like that's the thing.
Okay.
This guy,
every doctor that's performed a trans surgery on a child should be arrested and thrown in jail. Okay,
I'm with that.
They shouldn't have pulled out of Minnesota.
Oh, how about this? How about this on on your first point? Every hospital that charged whatever insurance company, the government gives them the ability to charge that back and say, hey, we paid you this, and this. I know it was approved, but the government has given us that ability to charge that money back. I know I'm speaking more to your realm here. But when you have hospitals saying, oh, wait a minute, we're having to stroke this $275,000 check back to the government or back to your insurance company or whatever because this is no longer paid. Now, if someone is paying out of pocket as an elective surgery, then you don't really have that.
But to your point, to my point, what you're saying, yes, that's what I say. A real price is this lawlessness, this make-believe land that they've operated in for 50 years. That's brought us to this point. Has got to end and end in a permanent fashion, but that gets us back to John Thune. They still have not passed a bill that mirrors Donald Trump's executive order against transing kids and mutilating them.
He's got so many executive orders.
Yeah, they still haven't done any of that.
That could have been codified.
And so, I mean, we're in this place because the people on our side don't care and they refuse to do anything.
I'm gonna respectfully push back and let you consider something though, and that not that I disagree with you, but you're pushing the lines of a red flag laws type thing, don't you think? If we start going after anyone with social media ranting,
I didn't say that.
Okay, I want to make sure I understand you.
No, my specific example was any doctor. You can take all of these cultural issues, and I'm just saying any doctor that's performed this surgery, any hospital that's made money off of it, have to pay it back, or who knows, maybe maybe you just go after some of these hospitals. I'm not really exactly sure, but there are real world consequences for this. First of all, the whole transient child thing, I mean, it's already child abuse. You look at any child abuse statute in any state right now, it's already child abuse.
I thought you were talking about like these teachers and stuff like that.
Well,
like
he brought up the teachers.
Well,
I think you get rid of the teacher. If all of a sudden doctors are going to jail for doing these surgeries, you don't think that's going to have an impact on some of these teachers?
If
of
you
saying,
post,
go ahead.
You can have the ideology, but if you post it on social media and you're, let's say you're a third grade, teacher, right? You're a third grade teacher, and you post that I can't believe someone missed.
Yes.
When you're talking about the potential assassination of Donald Trump, then the school, in my opinion, has the right to say, you are unfit to teach our children, because you can have this ideology in your mind. You can celebrate this Charlie Kirk death in your mind, or even with your friend group and all of that stuff. You can have that. But once you put it out there for the masses, then what you are doing is opening our school and the students who go to this school, you're opening it up to a certain set of ideals and ideologies that we may not all agree with. You're bringing us in as a representative of this district or university or whatever the case may be. And so I find it very hard to sympathize with someone who lost their job because they went on there and celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk. As a business owner, I have agents who are on the left. 100%. I have agents who are on the left who work for me in real estate. But if they would have gone on social media and celebrated the death of someone, a husband, a father, a Christian, all of those things, if you would have gone on there and celebrated, although I would have also disagreed with you, I would have said, you are not a good representative of my company that I work my ass off for every day. Whether it's a school district, whether it's a hospital, whether it's a real estate company, whatever the case may be, I believe that those companies and organizations have the right to assess the potential negative value of having this individual working for them. You can have the ideology. You can carry this hatred in your heart. You can bang as a school teacher. But the fact that you go out there and you protest and you post it on social media, you are opening up me as your boss to your ideology. And even if I agree with you, I have to also assess whether that is the common good. I have no problem with people getting fired today because they were bemoaning that someone missed.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, they had no problem with us getting fired.
There was already a teacher in Wisconsin. Did you hear about this?
No.
He posted "Make assassinations great again," and he was disappointed in the miss, and is already in some pretty hot water.
You can have an evil, vile heart, but once you put it out there for the masses, then you're exposing my company that you may potentially work for, or my school district, which I am the superintendent of, or whatever the case may be. You're exposing us to your vile heart,
right?
And therefore,
and I agree with all that.
Whatever we're going to let the chips fall where they
I agree with all that. I think the federal power, though, in this would be a school district that doesn't take action. Well, what can the federal government do? Well, we can say, well, there's a school in your state. You're not getting. This state is now no longer getting federal funds. I mean, there's a reason. All of our drinking ages in America are 21. It used to be 18. States used to have different laws. Now, I disagree with a lot of the strings attached stuff. But my point is, we're not a united country. I mean, we're not a united country at this point. I mean, we're so far apart on these basic moral questions that if you want to save the country, there's going to have to be people that say, no, we're going to hold this practice up. We're going to say, we as a society, this is what all societies do. They say that this is wrong or this is right, whatever it is. And it's based off of some sort of morality. It may be, it's either going to be godly morality or it's going to be, whatever man wants at the time. Yeah. And so there are things that can be done. And instead, I mean, you take the redistricting fight, right? It is tit for tat. We'd have more seats in Indiana right now if there wasn't a guy in Indiana, a senator in Indiana, that got offended because Trump used the word retard.
Yeah. Shut up, right?
But
as a dude, I just want to say, shut up.
It's just it's ridiculous that this is very much a cold civil war right now. That's what we're in the midst of, and we have the power right now. I mean, it's a slim majority, but we have the power right now to do something about it, and they just, no, we're not going to do anything about it, which means when the left gets back in power, they're coming for us in ways we can't even imagine right now.
So I'll say this. I was a school teacher, so I feel like I can speak strongly about this.
Right.
I was a school teacher who taught debate. Okay? Now, I taught other things, but one of those subjects was debate. And there's no way that you can have a debate class without addressing controversial topics. And I remember as Trump was elected, I was still in the public school. I was doing real estate part-time at that time. This is 2016, 2017, right? Excuse me. And I would talk about, you remember Trump's Muslim ban?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one, the first
right.
one?
Yes.
Right? And so we talked about that in class. Do you know how hard it was for me to sit there and mediate that and say, wait a minute. Can you think of a possible motive for why he was, doing this? Okay. Can you also think of the other motive here, right? And trying to direct these high school students to think. I never told them. No high school student knew what my political ideology was. They had zero clue that I voted for Trump. They had no clue because I played it straight down the middle. Mm-hmm. And some of the great people in our comments were talking about how, hey, real professionals don't do that. Real professionals are not so ideologically rotten that they have to send that rottenness out there. They have to let people know how rotten they are. I can sit here and also say that I have business partners in my business. So I own 4 different businesses. I have business partners. I do a conservative news talk show, right? On all of these streaming talk shows. I know that I could possibly get voted out of my company, or my business partner could come to me and say, hey, I don't like what you're saying. It's not putting us in a good position. And I may have a consequence of that. I fully understand that my political leanings might have a consequence. I do not celebrate murder. I will never celebrate murder or attempted murder unless it is for a child rapist. I will celebrate your death. I will roast a marshmallow around your fire for child rapists. My whole point of it is, I understand, even as a conservative, that there could be consequences of my conservative beliefs and values and opinions. And I'm also choosing to put those out there in the intrawebs and all of that stuff. Some individuals don't have the financial ability where they maybe don't have a fear of this. If you're a school teacher or you're a business, an employee at this business or whatever. I'm not trying to go down all the side tangents, but other than to say that if you're willing to put that stuff out there, you've got to also be willing to suffer the consequences. And one thing that I feel comfort with and I sleep well at night with is that I will never celebrate the death of my opponents.
Of course not.
I'm not. Or the potential death of my opponents. And that will always make me, at the very least, better than you. But it certainly makes me different than you.
Yeah, that's well said. I mean, I can't believe that this is where we're at. But, in the meantime, we got to continue speaking. I mean, I'm not, to your question earlier about, cracking down on social media. I mean, we saw the left do that. I don't know if you guys remember a platform called Parler. Do you guys remember Parler?
Yeah, it got shut down. The government shut it down.
Yeah, it was shut down because
Dan Bongino owned a part of it.
We were told that we couldn't have Parler because it was it was promoting violence. On the right.
Honestly, it was because they wouldn't regulate the speech.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Here's my question though, guys. Short of technology like on the Minority Report, could you have gone in and assessed that Thomas Crooks and Ryan Ruth and Dylan, whatever his name is, I'm trying not to that killed Charlie Kirk. Why is his name escaping me right now?
Tyler Robinson.
Tyler Robinson
has been arrested.
And this guy, could you not have assessed that they were going to be a problem? Yeah.
Oh, the warning signs were there.
The warning signs were there. Yeah. So that's one of the things. Like, we talk about soft targets and hard targets, and I'm always concerned because of the way that schools and churches seem to be these soft targets for crazies. Yeah. Like, this is a guy that was audacious enough to go into a hard target and got this close.
Yeah.
When everybody within the vicinity was locked and loaded. And he could have known that he wasn't going to get very far.
He knew as far as he was concerned, he was going to his death.
But that's what I mean. Like,
oh, yeah.
That's the extreme nature of the derangement. So I don't think you ever. And to my point about putting Trump in a basement for a while, like, you've got to get him out of the role of always being out in front of everyone and everybody, because this stuff's going to continue to happen until there's a huge overhaul in the departments that protect him.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with you, because in my opinion, just going back to what I said, apparently Parler is still, like, they shut it down, but I guess it's back, but it's totally different. So, thank you comments on that. But anyway.
Well, to the point, we didn't know. I mean,
we didn't know it was back.
Where do you really hear anything about that?
Yeah, because the Parler gave up and all that stuff, and so I just think that it's completely disingenuous for someone on the left to stand there and say that we are equal and the conservatives' hatred is worse than theirs. And I do have a lot of despising feelings for someone who would, number one, operate on children, like the transing of our children, someone who is a trans person who is drag queenie and going to these libraries and reading to these children. I'm like, what is your motivation? What is it? You know what your motivation truly is? It's twofold. If you're a trans person going to a public library reading to children, you've got a motivation that is twofold. Number one, you are trying to spread transism, whatever it is. Transsexuals, transgender, that satanic ideology, you are trying to spread it. Okay? Number two, and this is truly what my opinion is, you have a sick, sadistic heart who looks at children as sexual beings. And you and I will never be able to coexist. I don't give a damn if you are my best friend. If you are found to have child pornography on your phone, or you are trying to sexualize children in any way, I would much rather put a bullet in your head than to coexist with you.
There was a guy in Russia that did that. He found out that his friend had raped his daughter, young daughter, and he took him out to the woods and made him dig his own grave. And you never saw that guy again. And I think the authorities arrested him, but I don't think he went to jail or anything. To your point.
Yeah. Well, to my point, I would
do that
the
and run
exact
for
same.
sheriff in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Also,
you can go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You touch two of my children, my daughters.
Yeah.
If you touch my daughters, guys, and I think that there is any fathers of daughters, as we all three are, like you all feel the same way. As men, we are protecting our daughters, right? We protect the women in our lives, right? And I don't need some dude who was born Carl, who calls himself Carla and still has a penis, and he is, oh, sorry, I was trying not to say that.
Yeah, you got to quit saying that.
I can't say that.
I'm pretty sure the explicit rating on the podcast.
We have an explicit rating on there talking about.
I just took care of it, Rob.
I'm really sorry.
3, 2, 1.
Redo. Yeah.
Rob is going to take him to the train station.
Listen,
that's what
if
you need to know.
If you are a man who still has your male anatomy, and honestly, I don't even care if you don't have that, because you're still a man.
I'm not trying to trigger Rob.
We know
Was it Carl or Carla? Yeah.
Hey, hang on. Look at this. This is
Paul.
Look at this.
Damn it.
Would you look at this? You study hard to get into Oxford, one of the most famous universities in the world. You arrive on campus, rush down to your first lecture, and in walks Matt Ratley, your tutor. This is a real-life tutor.
Is this real?
At Oxford.
Yes, I'm in the process of putting a website together, and that is proving to be much harder than
Listen to what he
should
says.
be. And the problem I'm running up against is some imposter syndrome. Classic.
Imposter syndrome.
What does it mean to be an expert in something? Because it's really not obvious to me at what point I could describe myself as an expert in something. I have expertise in things, like I've been teaching plenty. My chemistry's pretty solid, but I think I still have this feeling that declaring myself an expert in something is a little bit uncomfortable, and I don't quite know on what basis I would feel comfortable doing that. And lots of people, seem to be quite happy with this. They'll sort of declare themselves experts in all sorts of things. Although I would also say that I think we've all come across people who declare themselves experts in things, but when you actually talk to them or you see what they're saying...
Let me tell you something, Matt. Your chemistry is not solid, and you have hair on your breasts.
So
you have hair on your boobs, buddy.
Imposter syndrome, which is what he thinks he...
That's what he's calling this?
Yeah, he's got imposter syndrome. That's what he said at the top. Imposter syndrome is an internal experience of self-doubt and fear of being exposed as a fraud despite evidence of competence.
Okay, here...
Now, come on, guys. That's hilarious. I mean, it's wicked and terrible. But this guy is worried about being considered an imposter.
This isn't Oxford, Mississippi, Ole Miss, by the way.
And this
is in England.
Yes, this is, and so it is incredibly ironic. And
Can you
also
imagine that dude in Oxford, Mississippi.
And to your point about coexisting and everything, like this is why we're dealing with mentally ill people.
Okay.
They think that we are mentally ill people as well. They think that we're bigots.
We're the bad ones.
They don't believe our religious convictions. They think we're just lying about it to oppress them. You tell me how we get out of this.
Let me throw this
without
out.
using hard power to make this stuff. And I know this is in Great Britain. I'm not suggesting let them handle that. But we got the same guys over here is what I'm trying to say. We got to deal with this.
Don't use the P word.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to reference this guy's anatomy other than to say that he very obviously has implants
Well, they may actually be one of those suits. He may be even more of an imposter.
Okay.
I was going to say, I see a line up there. I'm pretty sure he's wearing a body thing.
I think it's one of those weird body things like that that dude up in Canada was wearing.
Okay. So he's
Mrs. Doubtfire.
He's sitting there.
Hello.
Listen, this dude, whatever you want to call him,
looks like a lady.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
He's sitting
Teed
there.
it up for you.
Thank you. You did. I wouldn't.
No,
have
he did.
No.
He teed it up
You
for
went,
you.
Mrs. Doubtfire. That's on the soundtrack.
Looks like a lady. Listen, this guy is sitting there with a full beard that's like mangly beard looking. He's sitting there with his balding hair, right? And as a person who is also right, but I'm gonna like shave that off. But he either has breast implants or he's wearing a bodysuit.
Worried about it being an imposter.
Yeah,
They may think
and a
I'm
blue
an imposter.
dress. Okay.
They may think I'm an imposter.
Oh, really?
Go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
I cannot.
Here we go. Cue the music.
If you're so stupid. We should do like an AI remix.
Bring it on, brother.
I cannot.
Here he comes.
I cannot align with any person who thinks I'm so stupid.
Yes!
That I would say this thing is a woman. Because this thing has boobs.
Nailed it.
Whether they are fake or a bodysuit or whatever, this is a dude who has male anatomy.
Thank you.
There we
thank
go.
you,
I've
thank you.
censored it, Apple. Shut up.
Thank you,
right?
Rob.
I am so sick and tired of having to be told that I am intolerant, that I'm uneducated, that I am uncultured because a dude with male... Yeah, he pulled me down. I'm getting fired up.
It was pretty loud.
With dude with male anatomy is a woman. And I gotta call him ma'am. Kiss my rear end. Kiss it. Because I'm so sick and tired of this crap. We are not stupid. What did I talk about last week? Does the gynecologist say, "Come on in here, ma'am. Let's have your pap smear. Let me move your anatomy out of the way so that we can do this pap smear, even though you don't have female anatomy." I want to say the words. It's just so much better when I say the words, but I can't do it because we keep getting labeled as explicit.
So,
Paul, stop. I want to say this.
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
The left is crazy. They are ideologically bankrupt. Their only platform is Trump is bad. I am so sick and tired of you looking at me and telling me I am intolerant because I won't call that thing that was on the screen a woman when I know that he is a man. A very confused,
he needs help. I mean, he needs the person needs so much help. And yet, to say that, and if you say that in the UK, you'd get a knock at your door, you get arrested in all probability.
It is the only mental illness that we fully embrace.
I know.
And we say, you know what? Yes, you are. And let's chop off all the things that say you're not. Okay? Because what do we do? What do we do? We have had what rabbit hole did we go down as conservatives, and the things that we used to not accept, in our party that we are
We do
now
now.
accepting of.
I mean, you had this big groundswell right when people were figuring out about the trans sanity, and what did Fox News do? Here's Caitlyn Jenner to give you the news. We're going to make Caitlyn Jenner a Fox News contributor.
Because she's
Because Paul Ryan says, well, the Republican Party needs to be a big tent party. I mean, and yet, so we just have to put up with that.
You want to vote for Republicans, that's fine, Bruce. I'm not calling you a woman.
No, exactly.
I'm not doing it, man.
But that was an attempt. Like, that's how much Fox News and that's how much the donors of the Republican Party hate you. They hate you.
I don't hate trans people.
No, I don't hate them.
I hate the people who know better, who fully, and full-throatedly embrace it by having pronouns in their bios, by sitting here and calling these people by whatever these pronouns they want to be, instead of saying, can I give you some help?
Yeah.
Can I give you some resources? Because
Even
this
if you-
road
even if you-
that
I mean,
you're going
yeah, that's
down,
the whole
if you
thing.
are, Paul, hold on. If you're a Christian, if you are a Christian who goes to church, prays to God, and you are sitting there telling this trans person nothing's wrong with you, you are totally fine. You are the equivalent of someone who is a cocaine addict being told by a Christian that it's okay.
Yeah, keep doing it.
Keep doing what you're doing. What the
At
hell are we doing?
It's like at a bare minimum, anytime you've ever met somebody like that, which I've met very few, but when you do, you immediately just feel, this person in front of you is not going to have a happy life. I guess that would be, I think, the bare minimum is like, this person is doing this to themselves, whether it's testosterone or whatever, or let's say they're planning on the surgery, let's say they've had the surgery, like, as especially as a Christian, the not only is this person on a road to hell, but they're actually on a path to have a really it's just the consequences of their actions. They're going to have a really sad life. It's not going to be filled with happiness. It's going to be filled with disappointment. Yeah. It's going to be filled with regret. And everybody knows it. Even the leftist, who is a straight person, knows this. They know these people are, in their gut, they know these people are not actually going to be happy.
Yeah. So
it's really sick.
My buddy and I, we go to Memphis locally. It's like, I say locally, it's like one of the biggest cities in our area, right? And so you go to Memphis, and there's this one place that we go all the time where a trans woman, is that what it's called when you're a dude and you say you're a woman, is there. And it's just a dude in a dress, right? And, his name badge, I want to say, is like something like Jennifer, Michelle, something like that. It's it's a very common. Maybe his name is Michael and it's Michelle or something like that. I don't know. And I want to say to him, there is no light at the end of the tunnel that you're driving through. There's really not. You're embracing an ideology, a mental illness that will serve you nothing. You are embracing something that is a destruction and a long train to hell.
Yeah.
And as a Christian, I wanna pull you out of it, but you're not going to hear me. You're not going to hear me because what am I? I'm a MAGA. I'm a maggot, right?
Yep.
They call us a maggot, right? You're not going to hear what I'm trying to say.
Well, and you also embody the masculinity that they covet.
Yeah.
Too. So that also makes it so difficult. And actually, in church yesterday, I heard a sermon out of Psalms, and one of the things it talked about was that these sins and these demonic influences that that can cause you to sin, or that can tempt you to sin rather, and your flesh and the devil, it's they all require a price, and you don't think
The
that,
pound of
right?
flesh.
But a blood offering, pouring out of blood is, I think it was in the Psalm. I can't remember the exact number, but it was a fascinating. It really just hits you that the devil will take you out to dinner, and will promise to pay for everything. But then at the last minute, you realize, no, it's Dutch treat, actually.
Yeah.
You're going to pay. You're going to pay for it. You get told that you're not going to pay for it, but you're the one that actually pays in the end, which is the complete opposite of the gospel, whereas actually you don't pay. Christ pays, and you don't pay. And so that's the other argument. I mean, that's the juxtaposition, and it's a stark one, but it's everything, and it's not just the trans issue. It's literally any sin that you're caught up in. You buy the lie that this isn't going to cost you anything. It's actually going to be good for you, but it does. Everything. It costs you. You end up paying what you think is free.
You're so spot on, and there's a part of me that obviously feels bad for these individuals, but we all have temptations. We all have frustrations. As angry as does anybody believe that I'm not angry at the trans ideology?
I think everybody agrees with that.
Everybody knows that you had to pull my microphone down because you know that I'm so angry at that. But it's not going to drive me to violence.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And there's a huge
That's
difference
a huge difference.
And it goes back to this individual who, the White House Correspondents' Dinner here with this media that was trying to kill the President of the United States. We all have our thoughts and ideologies and beliefs and core things. But if it's driving you to do something ungodly, such as mutilating your body or, abusing a child in some way, or abusing anyone,
murdering
in
the
some
president
way,
of the United States,
or murdering the president of the United States, can you not step back and say, "Whoa, maybe I can get some more information here. Maybe I'm wrong." And if that is not clicking, then I don't think I can coexist with you.
Yep. Yeah. And again, it's like it's put up or shut up time with the leaders that have the power to solve this, to move forward in solving this stuff in a more permanent basis, versus these executive orders that don't get codified and really are hanging us out to dry if the left gets back in power, which, again, the midterms are coming.
And we're going to lose.
Real quick is this is MS Now contributor Simone Sanders Townsend. I just want to reiterate, this is not – there was plenty of people there that thought the security was just absolutely nuts.
Mm-hmm. Steph, it is honestly unconscionable. Just like you, I've been to many White House correspondent dinners. I've been going for the last 10 years. But this year, I actually showed up to the Hilton shortly after 8 p.m. And I actually took a scooter right up to the front of the Hilton driveway. And this matters because, as you know, usually there's a lot of protesters outside of those barricades before you can actually enter into the driveway of the Hilton. But this year, there were no protesters outside. Come to find out, the people were actually milling about into the lobby. Yeah. When I got off of the scooter and in front of the barricade, usually you have to show ID and a ticket. The folks at the security at the gate, and these were not agents, the Secret Service agents, they were not identified as Secret Service agents that I could see at the gate, but they did not ask me to show ID, and they did not even ask me to show a ticket. They said, "Oh, you're good. I'm sure you're going to your room."
Do not tell me that Secret Service is amazing.
They did an amazing job, Rob.
Do not tell me that.
It was amazing. This is why
fire every one of them.
This is why people have made fun of it with this. Honestly, this is a little bit unfair because the people responding to it obviously are heroes. It's just the procedures that are put in place to allow this guy to get in there with a gun, then assemble it around the corner.
Yeah.
In my mind, this is what I'm seeing. Assemble it around the corner, then he sprints.
Yeah.
As President Trump said, pretty fast. Then they fire off the shots, and he doesn't get hit. and we don't even
I sent you that video earlier. I don't know if you have it pulled up from Airplane 2. And it's like airport security.
Yes, yeah, you did send me that.
Yeah, and but I was like, oh, this is ridiculous, and it's funny. Like, if you're not familiar, it's the I said Airplane. The movie Airplane, Leslie Nielsen, all of that stuff. It came out in the early 80s, right? And it's just a spoof on airlines. All of this and more movies, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it. It's just a spoof. I don't know. You've got it here. Okay, let's take a look at this. And,
is it?
Yeah. Back it up. Can you do audio on it?
They all got guns. Little old lady,
and she didn't beep.
Yeah, all the other guys did. Yeah.
And it's just a ridiculous, absurd thing. Except, wait a minute, it just happened at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Those guys coming in the back.
Like, look, you get your.
They're just sitting there chit chatting.
Little old lady. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, wait a minute, you're supposed
holding a gun on her.
Like, I don't know. I don't know the FBI. I don't know what their protocol is. I don't know about being in the Secret Service and this and that. But you're supposed to be the best of the best.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be the best of the best. And a dude got a gun into the White House Correspondent Dinner Hotel, and it wasn't checked. And this dude was able to run past these, Secret Service agents. Now, he was taken down and he was arrested. But to me, in my opinion, why is he not dead today? Like, why was he not full of bullet holes? Because you came in here with the intent to kill the president of the United States, and you're still breathing? Think about that. Think about that. A person had a gun and had the intention to kill the president of the United States. And we can go back to the golf course thing as well. How are you still breathing?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Yep.
I don't get it. Because if there was ever an instance where shoot first, ask questions later should have been.
Yep. And the agents missed Ryan Routh too. Like, they missed him. They shot at him on the golf course and they didn't hit him.
Should have. Were they out of bullets?
It's a great question.
Were they out of bullets?
We got serious questions about the Secret Service. I mean, serious questions.
I don't like any of this stuff, and we can talk about the mentality of the left all we want to, but I don't like any of this.
In the meantime, as things were unraveling and the dinner
hashtag priorities,
the dinner really just became the most expensive salad ever served. You had journalists out there with priorities. There was this one guy who was they started to just take all the liquor or the champagne or wine. You had one guy though that I thought was hilarious. Everything's locked down. This guy just keeps eating. Every chaos around him, and he's just like, let me have some have some more. Which is exactly
Robert F. Kennedy apparently didn't get down at all.
Yeah, well, that's because
didn't care.
That's because RFK Jr. is a dangerous man.
Yeah,
and that's all you need to know.
He's like, I've seen danger, and this ain't it.
RFK Jr. is a dangerous man.
Yeah.
And I think people forget that and underestimate him. And that doesn't mean that I'm disappointed in some of the lack of movement that's gone on, but just in my opinion, he's a dangerous guy. And you can
guys,
tell.
I mean, there's people that are saying in the comments that it's about gun safety and friendly fire and crossfire and all of that stuff. And I'm like, guys, I just, if a person is rushing past the Secret Service, you can assume, rightfully so.
Yep.
They have absolutely ill intentions.
No, if that guy would have been taken out right then and there, nobody's going to be like, I can't believe the guy got shot. I mean, maybe leftists would. They would expose it. Yeah. And then of course you have this influencer Deborah Lee in the middle of the chaos. She deleted this apparently.
What the hell?
Shooter at White House Correspondents' Center. Shooter is dead. Thank you, Secret Service. Of course, no, the shooter isn't dead.
Yeah. And she blows a kissy face.
Yeah. And this is women.
Who the hell is this person?
This is women. This is what this is. This is modern women. We are in the middle of a terrible situation.
Yeah.
And she decides to take a photo that essentially says, "Look at my boobs." I don't know how else you can. I don't know how else she's like, "Oh, there's a tragic situation." Time
Like,
for
what's
time
up with
for a
the kissy?
selfie.
What is up with the kissy?
Yeah,
thing?
this is just the you talk
I
about
don't get it.
the moral rot of our society.
Yeah.
This is it. And again, on the security, Carrie Lake, I can't believe how lax the security was at the White House Correspondents' Center. Upon entering, nobody asked to visibly inspect my ticket. So this is now a corroboration. We've got two people, one on MS Now, the other Carrie Lake. Okay, they're saying the same thing.
Two opposite ends of the spectrum.
All one had to do was flash what appeared to be a ticket, and they were fine with that. When you consider you were entering a room full of fake news media, 90% of whom hate the president, you would think they would be, have better security. This is what happened.
I don't get it.
So I don't get it either. And this is not just Trump. Okay, the whole cabinet was there. The whole cabinet was there. JD, he would, according to the manifesto, he was want to kill anybody except Kash Patel. I don't know why he left Kash. Isn't that weird? Did you read the manifesto where he said everybody's a target, and he specifically mentions Kash Patel as not being a target, which is just the strangest thing.
Well, considering Kash Patel's endorsement of the actions of that night, does that put into light? Did you see what he said? He said, this was just an amazing effort by law enforcement.
There's no way he would have known that. But yeah, it is super weird. And then we have the conspiracy theories, which there's one concerning NASA and tying this to the
Aisha
missing
Hosni asked a great question.
NASA scientists
today during the press briefing.
But this was the one that kicked off the conspiracy theories, but we do have a follow-up at least. Mm-hmm. So here's a Fox News reporter calling in from the dinner as the chaos ensued.
I want to just quickly tell you, I was sitting next to Caroline Levitt, the press secretary's husband. He was one of our guests. He was seated right next to me, and right as the dinner was starting, the national anthem happened, and then he kind of leaned over and said, I watched you on TV, you do a great job. You need to be very safe. And he was just very serious when he said that to me. And he kind of looked around the room and he said, there are some...
And the call then dropped. And it was just silent.
Sounds like we lost.
So people immediately thought, "What was she about to say? What was she saying?" And so they were thinking, was there?
This
because
reminds me of CNN.
Was there
like
foreknowledge?
We just lost this guy.
Yeah, right, exactly.
What was his face? Jake Tapper.
Yeah.
With his bull.
But she made a follow-up because everybody thought this was the beginning of a conspiracy theory, and so she did make a follow-up. She said, our calls were dropping because there was barely any service in the ballroom. To finish the story, he was telling me to be careful with my own safety because the world is crazy, which is what my own father and other people have also said to me recently. He was expressing his concern for my safety. I was going to say, before I lost my signal, that it was unfortunate that only a short time later this all happened. When we heard people shouting, "Get down," he jumped into action and made sure myself and others at our table got on the ground. He was heroic in his actions, and I will forever be grateful. So the husband of the press secretary, Caroline Levitt, probably hears about all. I'm just giving the benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah,
probably hears about all the death threats his wife faces, as well as everybody else.
Sure,
and
she's
is just
about
saying,
to give birth.
Like nobody is safe.
Well, so that's Aisha Hosni from Fox News, and she's a great reporter. I just feel like she's just the facts, but we don't need conspiracy theories about it. But it also, when you have such a failure from the Secret Service, it's going to open it up.
How can you not? This is all, the government brings all this stuff on themselves. Folks, that's all the time that we have for this edition. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Red Vive Health, New Horizon Real Estate Gateway, Sight and Sound, 7 Weeks Coffee, and Sherwood Chiropractic. We will see you back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching. God bless.